Hello Kindred Longevity Lifestyle Designers, this is Zach here with secretsoflongevity.com, and today is Q&A on Sunday, and I've got 4 questions I'm going to go through. And the first one's from Sandpiper22, and they are asking about food sensitivities and whether a high raw vegan diet will make your body stronger and more able to fight off the odd junk food now and then, or whether it's going to make one more sensitive and so-called weaker when faced with random food that might not fit into our dietary philosophy of what we're allowing to take in. And it's really hard to say because it really depends on your individual constitution. It's not something that a lot of people talk about, but there are people, they say, they've just got like a strong stomach. And that quite is literal. They can eat really bad things, yet they never really seem to get a bad stomach. Whereas some people, they eat really healthy and they already have really bad digestion. So it's really about what organs in your body are strongest, and if your organs of digestion are the strongest, you're probably going to be more able to handle those things. But that aside, there is the law of vital adaptation, which is basically the idea that as you engage in something, you become accustomed to it, and that's going to dull your senses of it. So we're talking about something harmful, more or less, here. So a smoker who has been a smoker for a number of years and they smoke regularly throughout the day, if you were to take that person and a non-smoker and put them in a room together and tell them to each smoke a cigarette, the one who smokes regularly is going to smoke it no problem. The one who has virgin lungs, you could say, is only going to be able to take one, if not several, at most, puffs of the cigarette before they really start to feel really nauseous, or their lungs hurt, or they're coughing uncontrollably. And this doesn't mean that the smoker has stronger lungs. So when we talk about having a stronger digestive system if you can handle junk food, it's really not the case. It's that your body has grown so accustomed to something that it's almost like it's got calluses on the inside of your body. So it's more desensitized, you could say. You can say the same thing about watching violent movies on TV. If you're watching a movie that is very gory and sort of shocking and jarring to your nervous system, yet you do that often, it's not going to have much of an impact. Whereas someone who doesn't watch them can watch something like that and literally have problems sleeping that night. So really, it really depends on what you're wanting to get out of life. If you're going to insist on eating some junk food, just stay consistent with it. You'll probably eventually have the negative effects of that in your health, but it's not going to be giving you a bad stomach every time, if you're able to handle it, that is. Now going back to that example of the smoker, just because they can handle cigarettes without coughing, they are going to eventually have the negative effects of all those carcinogenic chemicals building up in their body. It's going to eventually cause dis-ease. And the same could be said with junk food in this situation. So next question is from Heather from Facebook, and she's asking, what did I do to reverse a cavity? As I put a post up that I was talking about remineralizing my teeth, and a number of years ago, well, maybe 3 years ago, I reversed a cavity. It wasn't a full cavity, it was what they call a watch. And my dentist has the x-rays. I'd love to bring them and show you up to light how there was a little speck that was the start of a cavity growing, and I had that done when I first went to this new holistic dentist. They did x-rays on my mouth. Unfortunately, I wasn't a fan of that, but did it anyways. At that time, I probably wouldn't have that done now unless there was a severe need for that. But at that time, I was getting more and more into health, always increasing my intake of the knowledge and practice of foods and diet that is building and sustaining for the body. And that was actually the time around when I started consuming raw chocolate on a daily basis. And I do want to say I am actually taking a break from raw chocolate right now, just to gauge what my body's reaction is to that. And really I haven't noticed any difference, to be honest. So I really am curious when people say they get addicted to this substance, because it's enjoyable, and that's my desire to consume it, but I'm not like pulling my hair out from an emotional addiction like can be seen with other foods. So again, yeah, the raw chocolate, the theobromine content has actually been proven to knock out the forms of bacteria that cause tooth decay. So just by consuming that, in one sense I was knocking that out, and just through a diet that was promotional to remineralizing the teeth, which is high in greens, probably some green juice, and I'm just trying to think exactly what I was eating 3 years ago. I can't remember everything, but basically next time, I think it was 6 months from then, I had another x-ray just on that one spot because they wanted to see how it was doing. They didn't just go in and start drilling, of course, because it was a holistic dentist, thankfully. They didn't just say, we're going to drill this, whatever was there, because we think there might still be something there. They actually did another x-ray and there's nothing there. And so they told me that, and I was quite happy to say the least. But yeah, remineralizing the teeth is very much possible. Definitely cut out the things that feed the bacteria that break down the teeth, which is obviously simple sugars. Bring those down, and then also consume things that would eliminate the buildup of the bacteria in your mouth, and also brush your teeth with things like essential oils. I'll share a blend of essential oils that I use in a future video, and this is also avoids products that have glycerin in them, which is most conventional toothpaste, and even all toothpaste you find in grocery stores are going to have glycerin on it, which leaves a coating on your teeth which prevents the remineralization of them. Next question is from Charles Obama, and they're saying, what are your thoughts on using something like Rogaine for hair loss? And there's two ways that Rogaine can be taken. One is topically, when it's a gel or a foam that you either massage onto that or comb in, and the other one is an oral form. And both of these are vasodilators, meaning they open up the capillaries in the head, allowing more blood flow to the scalp, to the roots of the hairs. And really, there's no need to take a synthetic drug in this instance, because one, there's more side effects, and ironically, one of the side effects of Rogaine, which is actually fairly common, is hair loss. So it obviously doesn't work for everyone, and it's not even guaranteed that where you lose hair is going to grow back. So if you start having hair loss with it, you could be just digging yourself a deeper trench, you could say. Now there's all sorts of other nasty stuff in it, like propylene glycol and all these things that are chemically and petroleum-based derived, which just have no use or need to have come in contact with their body. There's alcohol in it for the one on the topical, and it causes dandruff in a lot of people because it dries out the scalp. So yeah, there's herbs that are recommended for balding, for graying of the hair, and this is exactly what they do. They cause a vasodilation in the scalp, which allows more blood flow, and this is suspected as to how people can get their gray hair to go black or dark again, or whatever color they originally were, with things like faux tea root. You can find a link below for a great faux tea root extract that you can add to drinks, smoothies, elixirs, etc. That's at Hyperion Herbs, and of course there's many other herbs that do similar things. The list is too long to go over, but things like wheatgrass are great for hair loss, sprouts, even all the Jing-based herbs, so Romania, that's a Chinese herb, and to a certain degree goji berries as well, and there's a link down below, the same Hyperion Herbs link to get goji berries, a goji berry extract. Now the final question is from Jordan, and she's someone on Facebook who's asking if I can explain my negative experiences with marijuana after the video I put up 2 Sundays ago in regards to the negative effects or health effects that this plant can have on our physiology. And so without going more into the negative effects of it, I'll just explain my own personal experience with it was extreme anxiety, delusional psychosis pretty much. It affected me pretty badly, even though I did it for a long time. But it just escalated to the point where I was doing quite poorly in school, and sort of the typical pothead type behavior. And I actually have schizophrenia on both sides of my family. So that was definitely probably a contributing factor to the mental health challenges I experienced at the end of high school. But ironically, I do know for certain that that was that specific substance, and other substances weren't causing those symptoms in me that could still be in the same classification of drug, I guess you could call it. But yeah, there's always positives and negatives with anything. Definitely some things have more negatives than positives, and those are the things we definitely want to stay away from. Even the things with a lot of positives and some negatives might not be ideal, because we can always just focus on things that are almost entirely positive. And with that, I'm going to say take care, ask more questions throughout the week. I'll have another Q&A next week, and embrace life without limits.